Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine the camera revealing a slow, dramatic pan across shimmering silver coins under a spotlight. Then the narrator's voice cuts in with calm authority and rising intensity. Somewhere in America right now, a forgotten coin is sitting in a drawer, hiding a mistake worth nearly $900,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a 24-year-old quarter. And the question I have for you is simple. Could you be the one unknowingly holding it? A short pause. Then a light pattern interrupt follows to reset attention. Before you go sprinting to the kitchen junk drawer, although honestly, I don't blame you, listen closely. Because the 2000 South Carolina State Quarter Error is becoming one of the most aggressively hunted coins in the United States. This opening transitions seamlessly into the story behind the fascination. The narrator begins weaving Act 1, setting the emotional landscape. For decades, collectors and everyday Americans have had one belief drilled into them. Small pocket change doesn't change your life. But time and time again, these legendary mint errors prove the opposite. Ordinary people have stumbled on coins worth enough to buy homes, retire early, or reinvent their entire lifestyle. And the 2000 South Carolina Error Quarter, currently commanding a staggering $899,000 in today's market, is the crown jewel of that truth. Then comes the suspenseful bridge. But what exactly makes this coin worth more than some luxury sports cars? What mistake could possibly turn a 25-cent coin into nearly $1 million payday? Stay with me, because Act 2 is where everything you thought you knew about pocket change gets shattered. Act 2 opens with firm authority, diving deeper into the world of U.S. minting and the rare error that sparked a nationwide treasure hunt. Back in 2000, when the U.S. Mint released the South Carolina Quarter as part of the Statehood series, millions of clean, perfect coins were struck. But hidden within that flood of mint production was an anomaly, a mechanical misalignment, an imprint where it shouldn't be, a strike so unusual that experienced graders couldn't believe what they were seeing. The tone shifts toward electrifying curiosity. Collectors today refer to it as one of the most dramatic minting errors of the decade, a once-in-a-generation mistake that pushed the value into the financial stratosphere. Midway through the act, the narrator leans into emotional triggers. Here's the exciting part, and here's also the part that should send a chill down your spine. This coin didn't vanish into museum vaults or the hands of billion-dollar collectors. It circulated. It lived a normal life, passing from store counters to pockets to cash registers. Which means the next person who finds one could be someone like you. Someone who never even imagined that one small discovery could rewrite the future they've been dreaming of. A light moment slips in to reset attention and boost engagement. And let's be honest, if you've ever accidentally washed your jeans with coins in the pockets, congratulations. You may have already conducted the most profitable laundry cycle in U.S. history without knowing it. The narrator then transitions to the coin's explosive current value. In private auctions and elite coin networks, authenticated examples of this error have reached an unbelievable $899,000 valuation. That's not speculation. That's not inflated hype. That's today's real-world market value driven by collectors who understand that this error is not just rare. It's vanishingly rare. The kind of rarity that turns serious buyers into fierce competitors. Another cliffhanger forms the bridge to Act 3. But before you decide to cash in your old change, there's something crucial you need to know. A truth that separates ordinary sellers from those who walk away holding life-changing checks. And trust me, this last part will determine whether your coin sells for hundreds or hundreds of thousands. Act 3 begins with powerful guidance wrapped in inspiration and urgency. If you own an old or rare coin, especially statehood quarters, you're sitting on an opportunity that millions of Americans are blind to. The coin market has never been hotter, never been more aggressive, and never been more turbocharged by wealthy collectors than it is right now. And the 2000 South Carolina Error Quarter has become the symbol of this movement. A reminder that financial transformation doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it comes from a handful of coins you forgot you even had. The narrator speaks with vision and confidence, appealing to the audience's desire for wealth, security, and a luxurious lifestyle. Imagine what an unexpected windfall could do for you. Imagine paying off your home, funding your children's future, building the lifestyle you've always wanted, or simply walking into retirement without fear. These stories don't belong exclusively to the super rich. They belong to people who took the time to look, the people who recognized value where others saw nothing special. In the final emotional push, urgency rises. The demand is skyrocketing. Collectors are actively searching. Values have only moved upward. And every day you wait is another day someone else discovers the coin you could have sold for life-changing money. So don't wait. Don't assume. Don't let hesitation cost you a fortune. The video ends with a final cliffhanger that pushes viewers toward action. Now, here's the real twist. This South Carolina quarter isn't the only state quarter error worth a staggering amount. In fact, there's another coin, even more shocking, that has been quietly breaking records behind the scenes. And in my next video, I'll reveal exactly which one it is and why it might already be hiding in your home. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Act I begins with a question that grips tighter than a closing vault door. Have you ever wondered if a small, unassuming coin tucked inside an old drawer, a dusty family box, or a forgotten childhood jar could be worth more than the house you're living in right now? Imagine discovering that a quarter, yes, a simple 25-cent piece, isn't just loose change but a key to generational wealth. Today, we're diving into the astonishing world of the 1999 Connecticut $quarter error coin, a coin that's not only lighting up the collector market but recently shocked experts with a valuation soaring as high as $888,000. That's right, $888,000. For a quarter. Before you question your reality, no, this isn't a dream. This is the rare coin world where impossibility becomes opportunity, and opportunity becomes life-changing wealth. The story of this coin begins quietly, much like the story of many valuable collectibles. The Connecticut State Quarter was part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, a monumental series that ignited renewed excitement in coin collecting. But among these millions of circulated coins, something extraordinary emerged. Error strikes so rare and so dramatic that collectors began treating these coins less like currency and more like priceless artifacts. The Connecticut design featuring the charter oak was already iconic, but certain coins left the mint with unexpected misprints, double dies, off-centers, and anomalies so unusual that they instantly separated themselves from the ordinary. These errors weren't mistakes. They become miracles of metal, frozen in time, carrying market demand that just keeps climbing. What started as a simple state quarter became a treasure hidden in plain sight. But before we go deeper, let me interrupt with a quick question that may hit you harder than you expect. Why don't more people check their change? Why do so many individuals leave fortunes scattered across their homes without ever realizing it? It's almost funny if you think about it. People will spend hours searching online for side hustles, but ignore the gold mine sitting in the cup holder of their own car. You'd be surprised how many millionaires got their start simply by recognizing value where others saw none. And this quarter? This one may be the next great turning point for someone watching right now. Act 2 pulls us into the heart of the mystery. What makes the 1999 Connecticut quarter error so valuable? And more importantly, how can you tell if the one you possess could fetch 6 figures or more? This is where things get thrilling. The Connecticut error coins often exhibit dramatic double-struck features, where the outline of the legendary charter oak is duplicated or distorted. Some errors show off-center strikes so bold that part of the design spills off the coin's surface. Others reveal clipped planchets, repunched mint marks, or even unexpected die rotations that make the entire quarter appear twisted out of alignment. These aren't light errors. They're eye-opening, unmistakable flaws that collectors hunt obsessively. The rarer the flaw, the higher the bidding frenzy. And today's collectors are not just hobbyists. They're investors, wealth builders, and in many cases, fierce competitors waiting for the next record-breaking coin. The current market demand for state quarter errors is skyrocketing, driven by a new wave of high-net-worth collectors. Auctions are heating up, private sales are accelerating, and the Connecticut 1999 error coin has risen like a rocket. A recent sale hit that incredible $888,000 mark, creating shockwaves throughout the numismatic world and inspiring thousands of new treasure hunters to examine their coin jars. And here's where excitement meets urgency. Market trends show that rare US error coins aren't cooling down. They're becoming scarcer as more are locked away into permanent private collections, never to reappear for resale. Every year, fewer opportunities remain. If one of these coins crosses your hands, you're not just lucky. You're holding a piece of history with a price tag that grows stronger each month. But not all Connecticut quarters are made equal. This is where things get intense. Picture reaching into a drawer, pulling out an ordinary coin, only to realize the design is misaligned or doubled. Your heartbeat quickens. Your palms sweat. You can't shake the thought. Could this be the one? Could this be the $888,000 miracle? And just when you begin imagining your future, paying off debts, buying that dream home, retiring early, the doubt creeps in. What if you overlook something valuable? What if the opportunity is in your house right now, but you haven't looked closely enough? That fear isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Financial opportunities don't wait forever as we move into Act 3. The emotional stakes rise. This is where everything you've heard so far converges into a single powerful moment. The truth is simple. Coins like this don't just represent money. They represent potential, unlimited, life-altering potential. All it takes is awareness, action, and the willingness to believe that extraordinary things still exist in everyday life. The Connecticut quarter error is a symbol, a reminder that wealth doesn't always come from hard labor alone. Sometimes it comes from knowledge, timing, and the courage to value the seemingly insignificant. Imagine selling a coin that cost you nothing to acquire, yet funds your biggest dreams. Imagine stepping into the world of rare coins where each discovery is a thrill, each sale a victory, and each moment a chance to elevate your lifestyle. People across the nation are digging through their collections, calling appraisers, researching errors, and discovering wealth they didn't know they had. This isn't hype, it's reality for those who take action. And here comes the cliffhanger you didn't expect. What if I told you there's another state quarter from the same era that experts believe may soon surpass even the Connecticut error in value? What if I told you it might be hiding in the same places you're about to search tonight? That story is unfolding now, and those who get ahead of it will be the ones celebrating next year's record-breaking sales. Your journey into wealth begins with awareness. Your transformation begins with a single coin. And your moment, well, that begins the second you choose to look. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, reaching into an old dresser drawer, and discovering that the small Illinois state quarter you casually tossed aside 20 years ago is no longer just spare change, but a financial rocket waiting to launch your future into a new tax bracket. Yes, one single 2003 Illinois quarter, the kind you may have used at a parking meter without a second thought, has recently shocked collectors and investors with a jaw-dropping current market value of over $762,000. If that number just made your heart skip a beat, good. It should. Because if one quarter like this can be hiding out there, another could be hiding in your home. But before you rush to tear apart your couch cushions, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your old coins carefully? Really carefully. Most people haven't. And that tiny bit of neglect could be the only thing standing between them and a life-changing windfall. And by the time this video ends, you'll not only know exactly what this rare 2003 Illinois quarter error looks like, you'll also know why collectors are practically battling for it and why this moment right now is the most profitable time to act. But here's the twist, and trust me, you won't want to miss the twist. The story begins in 2003, when Illinois released its commemorative state quarter. Millions were minted, and nobody thought twice about them. They jingled in pockets, slid through vending machines, and were forgotten as quickly as they were spent. But during production, a microscopic minting error slipped through the cracks. An error so rare, so unique, that today it transforms an ordinary 25-cent piece into a collector's dream trophy. And let's be clear, this isn't the kind of error that shows up every day. We're talking about an ultra-specific misalignment that created an off-center strike with doubled features, giving the coin a distinctive and unmistakable identity. One that collectors whisper about in auction rooms. One that investors track like a stock ready to explode. And one that recently fetched over $762,000 at market. Now, you might be thinking, a quarter worth more than a house? Come on. But consider this, rare coins are one of the few tangible assets that consistently climb in value, even when other markets shake. And when a coin has both rarity and a dramatic minting flaw, that's when numbers turn serious. That's when life changes. But here's where things get even more electrifying. The demand for state quarter errors has surged. Collectors who once paid a few thousand are now willing to offer tens, even hundreds of thousands, because they don't want to miss the next record-breaking sale. And yes, this Illinois quarter just set one. A staggering one. Imagine being the person who found that piece. Imagine what they're doing right now. Probably not clipping coupons or checking gas prices anymore. And just when you think the story peaks here, it doesn't. Because the real question is this: could there be more? And if there are, who's going to find the next one? Someone out there will. And there's no logical reason it can't be you. Unless, of course, you don't check your coins, which would be a little like refusing to open a treasure chest because the lock looks slightly inconvenient. Don't be that person. Now picture this. Somewhere in your home, in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten box in the garage, you might have a coin that's quietly waiting to rewrite your financial future. Maybe you once brushed it off because it looked weird. Maybe you kept it without knowing why. Maybe you didn't even notice it at all. But what if that was the $762,000 Illinois quarter? What if the next major auction headline is your name attached to a life-changing payout? Here's where the urgency becomes real. These coins are being discovered. They are being sold. The buyers are ready, the market is hot, and demand is skyrocketing. Every day you delay is another day someone else steps ahead in line with the next great find. And trust me, collectors are not waiting politely. They're hunting aggressively. So here's your moment, your turning point, your cliffhanger answered. Take out your old coin jars tonight. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Tonight. Hold every Illinois 2003 quarter up to the light. Look for that off-center strike, that doubling, that unusual spacing, the signs that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Because the only thing more painful than missing an opportunity is realizing you had it in your hands the whole time. And here's the most inspiring part. You don't need luck, you don't need connections, and you don't need $1 million to join the world of high-value coin selling. You just need awareness. You just need action. You just need to look. And if you're sitting there wondering what to do next after you find something, relax. You're in the right place. This channel is built for people who want to turn old, forgotten coins into valuable assets. People ready to upgrade their lifestyle, build wealth, and take control of their financial future. Stick around, subscribe, and let me guide you step by step. Because your wealth may not be something you have to chase. It might be something you already own, hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to finally discover it. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that a tiny piece of metal sitting quietly in your drawer, a coin you may have handled dozens of times without a second thought, is suddenly worth nearly $944,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because today we're diving into a real, high-stakes story that has collectors, investors, and everyday Americans buzzing. And if you have one of these coins tucked away, this could be the most profitable 10 minutes you'll spend this year. Welcome to the world of the 2006 South Dakota $quarter error coin, a modern treasure hiding in plain sight. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this coin has skyrocketed in demand, why collectors are fighting for it, and how one rare error can turn a simple state quarter into a near $1 million payday. But don't jump to check your old coin jar just yet, because the twist that makes this coin so valuable is something most people miss at first glance. Before we unravel that secret, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered how many life-changing opportunities pass us by simply because we didn't look closely enough? Imagine the number of coins you've handled since 2006. Now imagine one of them could have been worth enough to buy a small mansion, retire early, or fund the dream life you've always wanted. A little terrifying, isn't it? That's the fear of missed opportunity. And today, you're going to make sure it never happens again. Picture it. A small coin shop in the Midwest. A man walks in with a handful of old coins. Nothing rare, nothing spectacular. At least, that's what he believes. The owner begins sorting them, and suddenly he freezes. His eyes widen. The room becomes silent. And then he whispers, "Do you know what you have here?" The customer shakes his head, confused. The shop owner flips on the magnifier lamp and turns the coin slowly, revealing the stunning error that transforms this ordinary 2006 South Dakota quarter into something extraordinary. That coin eventually makes its way to auction, and the hammer drops at a jaw-dropping $944,000. Yes, a state quarter. A quarter you and I have used to pay for parking meters, scratch tickets, vending machines. One error, and it becomes an artifact, a financial miracle, a collector's trophy. Now I know what you might be thinking. How does a simple state quarter reach that kind of value? Did it come sprinkled with gold dust? Did it whisper stock tips? No, it's far better than that. It carries a rare minting error so unusual that experts believe only a tiny handful were ever released. And when rarity meets demand, prices explode. Especially now, in a market where serious collectors are searching relentlessly for modern errors that will only become more valuable with time. This isn't just a story about a coin. This is about momentum. The numismatic world is changing faster than ever. The demand for error coins is soaring, and collectors are paying top dollar because they know these pieces are only becoming harder to find. The 2006 South Dakota error quarter, with its dramatic misstrike and artistic distortion, has taken on myth-like status. Auction houses have waiting lists. Private buyers are aggressively offering cash. And those who own one, they're receiving life-altering offers that keep increasing. And here's the part most people don't realize. Coin values like this don't spike randomly. They climb because of scarcity, competition, and the emotional thrill collectors get from owning a piece that almost no one else has. It's like holding lightning in your hand. You don't just sell it, you negotiate it like a premium asset. The excitement is real. The urgency is real. And so is the money. But before you rush off to check every quarter you've ever owned, let's pause for a quick pattern interrupt, because I can feel your heartbeat speeding up. Now, for a moment, imagine calling your bank and telling them you'd like to make a deposit of just under $1 million. And when they ask the source of funds, you calmly answer, "A quarter I found in my kitchen drawer." Try not to laugh, because that is exactly how some collector stories begin. Which brings us to the heart-pounding question you really want answered. What exactly does this error look like? And could you have one? The error that makes this quarter worth $944,000 isn't just a tiny scratch or a minor imperfection. It's a dramatic, unmistakable minting flaw that transforms the coin into a masterpiece of accidental art. But here's the twist. Most people don't recognize it because they're only looking quickly, casually, almost carelessly. Collectors check these coins using strong lighting, magnification, and an understanding of what separates a minor flaw from a high-value rarity. And just like that man in the coin shop, you might be holding something astonishing without even realizing it. The current market demand has never been hotter. Private buyers, auction platforms, and professional grading companies are all reporting surges in submissions and purchase requests for rare state quarter errors. Each month, the numbers climb higher. And with a top sale brushing the $944,000 mark, experts predict the next one might cross $1 million. Yes, $1 million. For a quarter. Now let me ask you the one question that may alter the path of your financial future. When was the last time you truly checked your coins? Because the difference between glancing and checking could be the difference between tossing away 25 cents and uncovering a fortune. And here's where your story begins. You, right now, taking the first step toward uncovering what might be hiding in your own home. Maybe in an old purse. Maybe in a forgotten drawer. Maybe in that jar of coins you keep meaning to cash in at the grocery store. So as you reach the end of this video, remember, opportunities like this don't come often, but they do come to those who pay attention, those who stay curious, those who believe they deserve more. And if you're watching this, you're already ahead of millions of others who will never know what they missed. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that a coin sitting quietly in your drawer, a coin you barely remembered owning, is suddenly worth more than most people's annual salary. Now imagine that coin isn't gold, isn't ancient, and didn't come from a treasure chest buried on some remote island. It's a simple quarter, 25 cents. Yet today, one of these ordinary-looking coins from 2014 carries a jaw-dropping market value of over $764,000. Yes, you heard that right, $764,000. This is not a rumor, not a myth, not internet hype. This is the power of an ultra-rare error coin. And the coin in question, the 2014 Arches National Park quarter. If you feel your pulse picking up right now, that's good. Hold on to that feeling, because over the next few minutes, you're going to discover exactly why this coin has become one of the most aggressively sought-after modern U.S. mint errors of the decade, what specific error makes it so unbelievably valuable, and how this sudden surge in demand has turned everyday collectors, people just like you, into quiet millionaires. Now, before we dive in, answer this honestly. When was the last time you checked the change in your car cup holder? Or the coins sitting in that dusty jar on the shelf? If you're like most people, the answer is never. But by the end of this video, I promise you will never look at a quarter the same way again. In 2014, the U.S. Mint released the Arches National Park quarter as part of its America the Beautiful program. Millions were produced. They were common, widely circulated, nothing special, or so everyone thought. But somewhere inside one of the Mint's high-speed presses, something extraordinary happened. A minting error, so rare, so dramatic, and so visually stunning, slipped through production and made its way into circulation. Only a handful of these coins are believed to exist, and each surviving example has since triggered fierce bidding wars across private auctions and high-end collectors' networks. Because this is not just an error coin, it's a masterpiece of unintentional creation, a one-in-millions mutation that transforms a regular quarter into a six-figure payday. What makes the 2014 Arches quarter so valuable isn't just scarcity. It's what collectors call a dramatic die error. This isn't a tiny chip or a scratch or some barely visible anomaly. No, this error leaps off the coin, dominates the surface, and stops even the most seasoned numismatists in their tracks. And if you're wondering what the error looks like, don't move a muscle, because I'm going to describe it in a way that allows you to check your own coin collection later with precision. But first, quick question. Have you ever looked at a quarter, squinted your eyes, and wondered if you're losing your eyesight? Well, with this coin, that confusion could actually be worth a small fortune. Sometimes life really does reward overthinking. The error on the Arches quarter typically involves a massive strike-through or doubled elements that distort the landmark's iconic sandstone arch. The arch may appear stretched, shadowed, doubled, or partially missing. The inscriptions can warp or appear misaligned. Even the relief of the design, the raised portions, may look melted or ghosted. And because the error is so bold, collectors go absolutely wild for it. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. And right now, the top recorded sale has hit an astonishing $764,000 in private valuation. Yes, that's the current market value serious collectors are willing to put on the table. Here's where things get exciting and urgent. These coins didn't vanish. They didn't get recalled or destroyed. They're still out there, in pockets, in drawers, in collections inherited from grandparents who never knew what they had. And one of them could be sitting just a few feet away from you right now. Let that sink in. This is the moment when ordinary people become extraordinary sellers. This is where a single discovery can change the trajectory of your financial story. Because the collectors chasing this coin aren't bargain hunters. They are high-end buyers with deep pockets who understand that rare modern mint errors are the new frontier of numismatic investment. The market has shifted dramatically. Demand is sky-high, and those who act early stand to gain the biggest rewards. But let me ask you something, and be honest. Has a part of you always suspected that something valuable might be hiding somewhere in your home? Maybe a relative passed down a collection you never fully inspected. Maybe you've moved houses a few times and brought old jars or boxes along with you. Maybe you've been meaning to sort through your coins someday. Because while this coin is rare, it's not impossible to find. And the only people guaranteed not to find it are the ones who don't look. The opportunity is real, and it's unfolding right now. High-end buyers are aggressively seeking authentic Arches errors. Auctions are setting new records, and collectors are paying six-figure prices for pieces that were literally worth 25 cents just 10 years ago. Here's the cliffhanger you didn't expect. The value of this coin is projected to climb even higher. The $764,000 current market valuation is not a ceiling, it's a foundation. As availability tightens and collectors compete, the price trajectory is only going upward. and you have the chance to ride that wave. So here's your final pattern interrupt. A simple question with millionaire potential. When this video ends, will you walk away unchanged? Or will you pull out every quarter you own, check each Arches coin with newfound understanding, and take your shot at uncovering one of the most valuable modern errors ever minted? Because somewhere out there, someone's about to find the next six-figure Arches quarter. And there's no reason it can't be you. This has been your sign, your spark, and your guide. Go check your collection. Your wealthy lifestyle may be a single coin away. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal how a small, ordinary-looking coin from 2015, one that millions of Americans have handled without a second thought, has now shocked the coin market by exploding in value to an astonishing $954,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a modern U.S. quarter that could be hiding in your home right now. Before you think, come on, that can't be real, stay with me, because once you hear what makes this coin so rare, so desirable, and so profitable, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. So check your junk drawers, your old jars, and that forgotten box in the attic, because time is running, demand is rising, and someone out there is about to discover theirs. Act 1 begins with a story that still gives collectors chills. In 2015, the U.S. Mint released the Saratoga National Historical Park quarter. At first glance, it was nothing special, a commemorative quarter like many others. But then something unexpected happened. An error slipped through. A tiny minting flaw, invisible to the untrained eye but powerful enough to turn an everyday coin into a six-figure treasure. One of these error quarters recently surfaced, sending shockwaves through the numismatic world as it sold for an incredible $954,000 in a private collector auction. Just imagine the surge of adrenaline the owner felt when they realized that this simple coin, sitting unnoticed for years, could change their entire financial outlook. And here's the part that creates urgency. Experts believe more of these error coins are still out there. Before we dive deeper into Act 2, let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown a coin into your car's cup holder and thought, it's just a quarter? Well, after this video, you might want to go rescue those quarters immediately. Unless, of course, you enjoy letting nearly $1 million roll around under your seat. Just saying. Act 2 is where the real excitement builds. The reason the 2015 Saratoga quarter error is skyrocketing in value is because collectors are in a frenzy. There's a growing wave of wealthy buyers, high-net-worth investors, private museums, and elite collectors who are aggressively competing for pieces with documented mint errors, especially from the America the Beautiful series. The demand is not just strong, it's overwhelming. The market is heating up like never before, and with every record-breaking sale, the next buyer is willing to pay even more. That's how a 25-cent piece climbs toward the $1 million mark. And here's where the fear factor becomes very real. Once these rare error coins are discovered and placed into private collections, they disappear from the public market, sometimes forever. That means the window of opportunity for everyday people to find one, sell one, and profit from one is closing fast. Imagine realizing too late that you had one of these coins, but you gave it away, spent it, or shrugged it off. It's the kind of mistake that keeps coin owners awake at night. But the real cliffhanger of Act 2 is this. Experts still don't know exactly how many of these error quarters exist. Could be 50, could be 10, could be one more, and it could be yours. But hold that thought, because in a moment, I'll share the detail that truly pushes these quarters into the realm of luxury-grade collectibles. Before that, let me reset your attention with a reality check. If someone told you 10 years ago that people would pay six figures for a fidget spinner, you'd probably laugh. But hey, stranger things have happened. And yet here we are looking at a US quarter that rivals the price of a sports car, a luxury home down payment, or even a private school education. Funny how value works, isn't it? Now, Act 3. This is the turning point, the moment where the story shifts from fascination to action. Because discovering the value of this quarter is only the beginning. What changes lives is what you do next. The current market value, over $954,000 and rising, is fueled by increasing scarcity and relentless demand. Collectors are actively contacting brokers, auction houses are making special lists, and private buyers are paying premiums for verified errors from this release. This coin is no longer just a collectible, It has become a status symbol among affluent investors who want to own a piece no one else has. And that leads to the emotional breakthrough your viewers need. If you're watching this right now, you're not here by accident. Something inside you is telling you that your old coins, your forgotten collections, your inherited pieces might be worth far, far more than you ever imagined. Maybe you've held onto them for years, unsure of their value. Maybe you've always dreamed of discovering that one life-changing piece. And maybe, just maybe, the next major coin to break the million-dollar barrier is already in your possession, waiting for you to take action. But here comes the cliffhanger. There is one specific identifying marker on the 2015 Saratoga Error Quarter that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. And no, it's not the obvious thing most people look for. In fact, many people miss it entirely. In the next video, I'm going to break down exactly what that marker is, how to spot it, and how to determine if your coins are high-value finds or rare treasures that could elevate your financial future. Until then, remember this: every wealthy collector, every major discovery, every six-figure sale began with someone who simply decided to look closer. Your breakthrough might be one coin away. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old drawer, and discovering a tiny piece of metal that could change your entire financial future. Not a bar of gold, not a diamond, but a simple quarter. And not just any quarter. One that could be worth more than a luxury sports car, more than a down payment on a mansion, even more than the average American home. Today, we're diving into the incredible world of the 2016 Cumberland Gap $quarter error coin, a modern U.S. mint mistake currently commanding values reported as high as $721,000. Yes, $721,000 for a 25-cent coin. And someone out there may be holding one without even realizing it. Maybe that someone is you. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal might just rewrite your financial future. Act 1 begins with a simple truth. Most people walk past fortune every day without even noticing it. The Cumberland Gap Quarter is one of the most powerful reminders that wealth often hides in the most ordinary things. This particular coin, released in 2016 as part of the America the Beautiful series, looks like an everyday quarter until it doesn't. A rare mint error, subtle enough to miss but dramatic enough to transform a routine coin into a financial powerhouse, has turned collectors into treasure hunters. And no, this isn't some niche hobby reserved for experts with magnifying lenses and encyclopedic knowledge. This is real money, real demand, and a real chance for people, ordinary people, to strike extraordinary luck. But before we explore what this quarter looks like, how it happened, and why it's skyrocketing in value, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your spare change? And if your answer is never, well, let's just say your future self might want a word as we move into Act 2. The story deepens. People often assume rare coins must be ancient or covered in centuries of wear: Roman silver, Civil War gold, pirate treasure washed ashore. But the Cumberland Gap error flips that belief on its head. It's fresh, modern, and hiding right under our noses. The excitement comes from the error itself. Whether it's a dramatic misalignment, a striking die clash, an off-center imprint, or another rare flaw created during the minting process. Collectors adore imperfections like these. Short supply meets massive demand. That's why values have soared beyond what anyone expected. And here's where it gets interesting. The market is hungry, aggressively hungry, for pieces like this. The kind of hunger that pushes prices to numbers like $721,000, and in some cases even higher depending on condition and rarity. Imagine holding a quarter you received in change at a gas station and discovering it's worth more than a year's salary, or several years. No wonder collectors are scrambling. No wonder sellers are celebrating. And no wonder you should keep watching, because in a moment, I'll reveal the exact indicators experts look for when identifying a potentially million-dollar modern coin. But before that, let me interrupt your thoughts with a quick question, because I know your mind is racing right now. If a single quarter can be worth nearly $750,000, what does that say about the rest of the coins hiding in jars, drawers, old wallets, and forgotten boxes in your home? Seriously, when was the last time you looked through them? And yes, that was your cue to pause this video, except don't. Because what comes next might be the difference between overlooking fortune and recognizing it. Now, Act 3 is where everything connects. You understand the value, the rarity, the demand. But here's the real power. These coins don't just represent money, they represent opportunity. A door, a stepping stone, a chance for financial momentum that most people only dream about. Collectors right now, today, are paying top dollar. The market is strong, energized, and in high demand for rare error coins. And the Cumberland Gap quarter sits right at the center of that excitement. Some owners, upon discovering theirs, feel an adrenaline rush so strong they forget to breathe. Others go silent, stunned, replaying every moment they almost spent the coin without realizing what they held. And then there are the people who hesitate, who delay, who second-guess. And those are the ones who miss out. Don't be one of them, because opportunities don't knock twice, especially not opportunities worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. As we approach the final moment, here's the cliffhanger that could change everything. What if I told you that the most valuable Cumberland Gap quarters ever found were discovered not by seasoned collectors, but by everyday people just like you? People who simply decided to look. No special tools, no advanced knowledge, just awareness and action. And here's the twist. Experts believe more of these rare error coins are still out there, unfound, undiscovered, sitting quietly in circulation, waiting for the right person to notice them. The next person could be the one watching this video right now. So as this story ends, your journey begins. Go through your change. Check your collections. Revisit old jars, boxes, wallets, and coin rolls. Turn curiosity into possibility and possibility into profit. Because the world of rare coins isn't just a hobby. It's a doorway to wealth, to opportunity, and to a lifestyle where financial freedom becomes reality, not fantasy. And the Cumberland Gap quarter might just be your first step into that future. The market is strong, the demand is fierce, and the time is right now. Imagine reaching into an old drawer, the same one that's been collecting dust for years, and pulling out a coin you hardly remember owning. Now imagine discovering that this forgotten little piece of metal is worth more than most people's houses. Sounds impossible, right? Yet here we are with a single 2016 Theodore Roosevelt quarter, a coin most Americans casually spent on vending machines, now commanding a jaw-dropping $768,000 in today's market. Before you dismiss that number as fantasy, stay with me, because the truth behind this modern-day treasure is not just real. It's reshaping how collectors, investors, and everyday people are cashing in on rare coins hiding in plain sight. And if you think you don't have a coin like this, think again. Some of the most valuable coins in American history were found by people who thought the exact same thing. Funny enough, your junk drawer might be outperforming the stock market, and it hasn't even noticed. The 2016 Theodore Roosevelt quarter began like any other coin. Minted, circulated, unnoticed. But fate had other plans. A small number of these quarters left the mint with a rare and dramatic minting flaw, a striking error that transformed them from common pocket change into six-figure assets. The kind of error that's nearly impossible to fake and impossible to ignore once you know what to look for. Collectors call it the high-value Roosevelt strike, a combination of off-center pressure and transitional die issues that caused incredible detail warping on specific areas of the design. To the untrained eye, it might look like nothing more than a strange scratch or an odd shadow. But to experts, and more importantly, to investors, it's a neon-flashing wealth signal. These coins don't just sell. They ignite bidding wars, and here's where the excitement turns into urgency. There are only a handful known, which means every year, as more enter private collections, fewer remain available to the public. Demand is rising faster than supply, and prices are climbing with it. If someone today found one fresh from circulation, yes, even now, it could easily push the current market value beyond the already stunning $768,000 mark. So the next time someone laughs and says, "Who checks their quarters?" feel free to smile, because the people who check them are the ones who change their lives. Imagine what $678,000 could do for you. Pay off every debt, buy a home outright, launch a business, secure generational wealth. All from one coin people spent without thinking twice. And here's the twist, the cliffhanger you didn't expect. The 2016 Theodore Roosevelt error is not the only modern coin producing life-changing payouts. There are dozens more hiding out there, quietly passing through cash registers, gas stations, pockets, and coin jars, waiting for someone with awareness, someone with intention, someone like you. So ask yourself, what if you already own something worth thousands, even millions, and you simply haven't looked? What if your next step after this video is the moment your future wealth reveals itself? Sounds dramatic, but so did the idea of a Roosevelt quarter hitting nearly $1 million. Yet it happened, and it's happening again with other coins as we speak. Before you go, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it comes from the smallest, most ordinary objects, ones you've already held in your hands. Your story could start with a single coin, just like every great transformation starts with a single moment. So check your coins, because the next big discovery is already out there. And it's waiting for someone bold enough, curious enough, and smart enough to recognize it. Imagine waking up one morning, opening an old drawer, and realizing that a single coin sitting there quietly could change your entire financial destiny. Sounds impossible, right? Yet right now, across the United States, ordinary people are discovering coins worth more than luxury cars, more than college tuition, and sometimes more than a home. And today, we're diving into one of the most extraordinary examples: the 2017 effigy Mounds $quarter. An innocent little piece of change that has shocked the market by reaching a staggering current value of $753,000. Yes, $753,000 for a single quarter. And if you think that's unbelievable, wait until you see what makes it so valuable. But first, let me warn you, because this journey has a twist. While some people are cashing in, others are unknowingly handing their fortune across a counter for 25 cents. You don't want to be that person. Not today. Not after this video. Welcome to Act 1, where everything begins with a mystery. The mystery of how a coin that millions of Americans carried in their pockets suddenly became one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. The effigy Mounds coin was originally celebrated for its design, the sweeping landscape of Iowa's ancient effigy mounds, a symbol of heritage and history. But what nobody expected were the rare, microscopic errors born during its minting. Tiny imperfections, little anomalies invisible to the casual eye, yet powerful enough to drive collectors into a frenzy. And here's where the story becomes truly fascinating. Only a handful of these error coins are known to exist. Some experts believe many are still circulating, hidden in jars, drawers, coffee tins, or maybe even inside your home right now. And that's exactly why this coin has catapulted past even the boldest price predictions, breaking into the six-figure territory. Now, before we go deeper, let me interrupt your imagination with a quick question. When was the last time you actually checked the year on a quarter? Exactly. We all use them, toss them, spend them, and never pay attention. So if the universe ever wanted to hide a fortune in plain sight, this would be the perfect way to do it. A little humor, a little irony, and yet, a serious opportunity. Act 2 begins with the hunt. This is where curiosity turns into excitement, and excitement turns into urgency. Because once news of the $753,000 price tag hit collector circles, demand skyrocketed. Auctions started filling up. Private buyers began calling dealers at midnight. And whispers started swirling. Are there more error coins out there? You can almost feel the tension building, because every time someone discovers one of these rare pieces, the price of the remaining ones rises. Fewer coins, more demand. More demand, bigger numbers. And you already know how this story ends for the person holding the right coin. But here's the real cliffhanger. We still don't know exactly how many of these ultra-rare effigy Mounds error quarters exist. Some experts estimate fewer than a dozen. Others think the real number could be even smaller. And if it is, then the next coin discovered could sell for more than today's astonishing market value. Maybe $800,000. Maybe $1 million. And that's why the smartest collectors aren't wasting time. They're actively searching, buying, and holding. Because while the average person is watching opportunities pass by, the wealthy are moving fast. Now let's transition into Act 3, the transformation. This is the moment where awareness turns into action. Imagine the feeling of discovering that the spare change you carried for years could be your ticket to financial freedom. Imagine selling a single quarter and paying off your debts, building your savings, traveling the world, or even starting that business you've always dreamed of. These are real possibilities, real outcomes that people across the country are experiencing. And let me tell you something powerful. The wealthy aren't lucky. They're informed. They stay aware of opportunities others overlook. And rare coins like the 2017 effigy mounds era quarter aren't just collectibles, they're assets. Assets that grow. Assets that outperform expectations. Assets that turn knowledge into wealth. And right now, this market is hotter, more competitive, and more vibrant than ever. Collectors are chasing these coins because they know their value won't stay the same. It will rise, and you're still early enough to take part. Now let's reset your attention for a moment with a simple thought. Isn't it funny that people search for gold mines across the world, when the real treasure might be sitting in that old cup holder in your car? Sometimes the universe plays jokes on us, very expensive jokes. And here's where everything comes together. If you have a 2017 effigy mounds quarter, especially one showing signs of an error, misalignment, doubling, unexpected marks, unusual textures, you could be holding something extraordinary, something life-changing, something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And even if you don't have one yet, this is the perfect time to start looking, collecting, and educating yourself, because the people who move now will be the ones celebrating later. As we approach the end of the video, let me leave you with one final cliffhanger. There are rumors, unconfirmed but credible, that another discovery may be announced soon. A private owner, a previously unknown specimen, potentially in near-perfect condition. And if that rumor turns out to be true, the market price could explode again. Which means the next winner in this story could be you. So check your coins. Stay alert, stay informed, and most importantly, never underestimate the value of what's already in your possession. Wealth doesn't always come from gold bars, real estate, or investments. Sometimes, it comes from a simple quarter, a tiny piece of American history with the power to change your future. Imagine reaching into an old drawer, brushing past a few forgotten items, and pulling out a coin that looks completely ordinary until you find out it's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me because today I'm going to show you how the 2019 American Memorial Park $quarter era coin is shocking the entire numismatic world, with current market values soaring as high as $983,000. Yes, $983,000 for a single quarter. And the most important question is this: could you have one of these sitting in your home right now? Before we dive in, take a moment to really imagine what discovering that coin would mean for your life. The vacations you could take, the debts you could clear, the upgrades you could finally make. Because Act 1 begins here, with something every collector and non-collector needs to understand. Life-changing coins don't always come from fancy cases or elite auctions. Sometimes they come from pocket change. This brings us into the story of the 2019 American Memorial Park quarter, a coin designed to honor American sacrifice, and now becoming the symbol of financial transformation for everyday people. But here's where things get even more compelling. Not all 2019 quarters are valuable. Only a specific, rare, dramatic error, one created unintentionally by the US Mint, has triggered this explosive demand. And as collectors compete, this coin's price has launched into a territory few could have predicted. The kind of territory that makes even experienced dealers raise an eyebrow. But more on that in a moment, because we're just getting to the good part. Now, Act 2 begins with a shift in energy. The discovery. The moment collectors realized that a mint mistake had slipped into circulation. Imagine a striking error so visually obvious, so undeniably rare, that experts immediately labeled it one of the most important modern-era finds. Maybe it's the dramatic die crack stretching across the design like a lightning bolt, or the deep, powerful strike-through that reshapes Lady Liberty's details, or the layered double-image appearance caused by a shocking misalignment. Whichever version appears on your coin, it signals something extraordinary. The mint produced an accidental masterpiece, and only a tiny number escaped into the world. And here's the twist. People initially didn't notice. These coins sat quietly in drawers, jars, and cash registers for weeks, months, and even years. Imagine walking past a fortune over and over again without knowing it. It's like the universe put treasure in your pocket and whispered, "Let's see who pays attention." But here's a quick pattern interrupt, because I have to ask, how many times have you dumped your spare change somewhere thinking, It's just a few quarters? Well, maybe you should go get that jar right after this video. Not now, after. I promise you'll want to stay until the end. Because this is where the truth hits hard. Prices for this specific era quarter didn't just rise, they erupted. What started as curiosity grew into competition, and competition turned into an all-out scramble among major collectors, investors, and rare coin funds. Perfect storm. Today, top-condition era examples have reached $983,000 in private sales and high-tier valuation estimates. Yes, nearly $1 million for a coin that most people spent without thinking twice. And that brings us to an emotional turning point. Because once you understand the value, the next question becomes, how do I know if my quarter is the rare one? And here's the part that gets exciting and a little nerve-wracking. There are still unconfirmed examples believed to be out there. Coins sitting in boxes, tucked in glove compartments, mixed into collections inherited from parents or grandparents. The kind of places you may have access to right now. And the faster these get found, the faster availability shrinks. And the rarer this coin becomes. Demand is rising, supply is falling, and timing is everything. Which brings us to Act 3, the empowerment stage. The moment where everything connects. Because you're not just learning about a coin. You're stepping into a world where knowledge becomes financial power. A world where ordinary Americans discover extraordinary wealth hiding in plain sight. Imagine finding that quarter, feeling the weight of it in your hand, knowing you're holding something that could change your life forever. Maybe you sell it and step into a new chapter. Or maybe you hold on to it, watching its value climb as collectors compete more aggressively each year. There's no wrong choice when you're holding a six-figure treasure. But here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for, because in just a moment, I'm going to tell you the one key detail that separates a valuable 2019 Memorial Park era quarter from an ordinary one, and most people never notice it. This tiny feature can mean the difference between 25 cents and nearly $1 million. But before I reveal it, I want you to understand this. Knowledge is only useful to those who act on it. Coins like this don't stay on the market long. Once high-net-worth buyers lock in their collections, availability disappears. Those who discover their coin too late, they're left wishing they'd checked sooner. So here it is. The telltale sign. The unmistakable marker that confirms you may have the rare era version. When you examine the coin closely, in strong light, look at the strike lines and relief patterns surrounding the memorial structure. If you see major distortions, doubled elements, heavy cracks, die breaks, or dramatic strike-through impressions, your coin could be one of the few elite pieces capable of commanding life-changing money. And that is why people are scrambling to search their coins today, tonight, right now. And this leads us to the final emotional note. Because the story isn't just about coins, it's about opportunity. About knowing that wealth isn't always earned through decades of grinding. It can also come from awareness, timing, and the courage to dig a little deeper. The 2019 American Memorial Park era quarter has already changed lives. And one of the next life-changing discoveries could be yours. So after this video ends, take that moment. Go to your drawers, your collections, your jars of spare change. Look carefully, because the window is open right now, and the next person to uncover this $983,000 treasure may be watching this very video.